record reflect the presence of counsel for the parties, with the exception of Ms. Jones. The defendant is present, the jury is present, and Mr. Earls, you may be seated.
Thank you.
And do you understand that you are so enrolled?
Yes, sir.
You may continue.
Thank you, Your Honor. Your Honor, this time the state is going to request permission to publish State's Exhibits 81 through 85.
Permission.
Thank you. And may Mr. Earls step down and...
Yes, you may step down.
Mr. Earls, beginning with State's Exhibit 81, which is now in evidence, and that corresponds to marker number 1.
Okay.
I'm going to pull that up on the board here. Your Honor, permission to publish State's Exhibit 128.
Yeah, Brandon.
Thank you. Okay, go ahead and please show us State's Exhibit 81. Remove the contents, and if you can place it on the white napkin before you.
You said you'd like to open it?
Right. Actually, does State's Exhibit 81 have 2 envelopes that's involved in there?
Yes.
Okay. Is one with debris and the other with hair?
Yes.
Okay. Can you just open the one with the hair, not the one with the debris?
Sure.
Now, if you could lay the paper flat so everyone in the jury box can see that. Yes. You know, Mr. Earls, if you could repackage that, and I'm going to ask that you display or publish what's in State's Exhibit 82. Yeah.
82 is number 3.
That's correct. And your permission to publish State's Exhibit 129A.
Granted.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead and publish that, please. Again, this was under marker number, this is under marker number 3, is that correct?
Yes.
And next, please publish State's Exhibit 83.
And 83 is... number 4.
And so, Mr. Earls, State's Exhibit 83, does that correspond with marker number 4 as shown on the monitor under State's Exhibit 129A?
Yes, it does.
Okay.
This is marker number 4.
And your permission to publish State's Exhibit 78 corresponding.
Granted.
Thank you. And I believe we're at State's Exhibit 84 right now. If you could publish that, please.
And that is photo marker number 5.
And your permission to publish Exhibit 79.
Granted.
Thank you. And just for the record, Mr. Earls, does State's Exhibit 79 correspond with marker number 5?
Yes, it does.
last exhibit at this, in this matter, Space Exhibit 85, please publish that.
This is photo marker L.
Thank you, Mr. Rose. Jeremy, I retrieved it.
Yes.
Thank you.
This doesn't have to be a picture.
Now, Mr. Rose, you testified previously that with respect to the clothing that was that you received from Officer Bonacorsi, you recovered some of the insect larvae or the maggots as you described.
Yes.
Prior to you collecting any of the insect larvae or maggots, you also testified that Officer Bonacorsi provided you with, I guess, 2 containers that also had insect larvae or maggots in them?
Yes, she did.
Okay. I'm going to show you, and your receipts already show counsel has been marked as exhibits 400 to 401 for identification. May I approach?
You may.
I'm going to show you what have been marked as exhibit 400 to 401 for identification, and ask if you recognize those.
Yes, I do recognize these.
Okay, now, when you, first of all, what are they?
These are 2 urine specimen type containers containing maggots that were recovered from on the wet items by Officer Bonacorsi.
And did you receive those at the same time? Did you receive those two items at the same time you received the clothing items from Officer Bonacorsi?
I did.
And again, what did you do with those items?
Place these containers as well into the refrigerator.
Did you mark those two items in any way where you could recognize them?
No, I did not.
Or are there markings on the containers that you recognize today from when you
Yes.
received them?
Yes.
And what is the markings that you recognize?
The area where I actually opened so that I would be able to add some preservative in there with the maggots.
So when did you add the preservative?
Looks like it was on the February the 15th of 2014.
And when you added the preservatives, did you do it to both of those urine containers?
Yes, I did.
When you did that, where were those items being stored?
In the forensic facility refrigerator. And I'm sorry, can I correct it? It was actually the 17th, sorry, when I actually opened them.
When you opened and added
Correct.
preservative?
Correct. And these were in the secure refrigerator for evidence.
So that other than yourself, did anyone else have access to those, what's contained in those two urine containers?
No, sir.
And you said after you added a preservative, then you marked it?
Yes, and sealed it back up.
And prior to you opening and adding preservative, had anyone, had those containers been opened?
Other than by Officer Bonacorsi, I don't think so.
Yeah. From the time that she delivered it to you
No.
to the time you opened it, had anyone else opened it?
No, they had not.
And what, after you added preservative to it, what did you end up doing with those two containers?
Okay, so I submitted them as evidence, along with the rest of the evidence for storage in the by the evidence custodians in the Wailuku Police Station, where they were kept in refrigerators as well. And then I received them back from them in May when I was to ship them out for analysis.
And May of what year?
I'm sorry,
What year?
May the 22nd of 2014.
And you said you shipped them out on that date?
I received them, I packaged them on the 23rd of May of 14, and then they were received in Honolulu on the 27th.
So on that last part, Your Honor, I'll object this to your sitting lack of combination.
All right, as to when they were received,
Yes.
I'll sustain the objection.
Move to strike.
Granted.
Okay. Now, without going through the chain at this point, when did you send them out?
I shipped them out, I packaged them on the 23rd,
Okay. And shipped them out when?
probably the next day.
And where did you ship it to?
FedEx to Honolulu in Kaneohe to Dr. Lee Golf.
And what was the purpose for you sending those two urine containers containing the maggots to Dr. Legoff and Legoff?
Okay, that's for forensic entomology analysis.
And when you say forensic entomology analysis, what do you mean by that?
It's the study of insects and applying the findings to the law.
Now, you testified earlier that you yourself collected the insect larvae or maggots from the clothing items from Officer Bonacorsi, is that correct?
Yes.
And your insurance counsel has been marked as Case Exhibit 402 for identification. You know, may I approach you with this exhibit?
You may do so.
Okay, Mr. Earls, I'm going to show you what has been marked for identification as Case Exhibit 402. Please take a look at the contents therein.
Okay.
Do you recognize, do you recognize the contents of State's Exhibit 402?
Yes, I do.
And what are they?
Okay, these are similar type of containers, urine containers, sterile, that I used to recover the maggots from on the wet clothing that was received by Officer Bonacorsi. As I was removing each item from the refrigerator, I would remove as many bugs as I can, the insects, and then place them into the drying cabinet. These were also, there's two parts, and then the other part were maggots that were recovered from on the bra by me, which was marker number 6, photo marker number 6. Also from an indention which was about 2 feet west of photo marker number 6 on the 14th.
Okay, let's begin with the clothing items. When did you recover the maggots from the clothing items that was provided to you by Officer Bonacorsi?
Okay, so I received those around 2 o'clock in the morning from her on the 14th of February of 2014, and it wasn't until the 15th in the afternoon that I recovered those out of the refrigerator, and then proceeded to recover these insects from on the items.
And was that before you had placed the clothing items into the drying cabinets?
Yes, it was.
And was that the same day, or were those different days?
The items were taken out on the same day, on the 15th in the afternoon, and then these were all recovered at the same time.
These meaning the maggots?
Yes, I'm sorry.
Okay. And how did you organize it if you did at all?
Sure. I labeled each one of the containers, so I would make sure to, so I would know which item it came from.
And can you go through the labels that you did for the clothing items from Officer Bonacorsi?
Sure. So here's some maggots that were removed from the gray sweater.
And you did that yourself?
Yes, I did. This is from some from the green blanket, the black jeans, the black skirt, and that's it.
Now, you also mentioned that you did recover maggots from the black bra.
Yes.
That's the same black bra that you displayed before the jury last week.
Yes, it is.
And did you label a container with the word black bra on it as well?
I actually labeled it numbers. Let's see. It just says bra. Yes.
And
It
you
doesn't say
mentioned-
black.
Okay. And I'm going to show you permission to publish State's Exhibit 135.
Granted.
Thank you. I'm showing you Mr. Earl's State's Exhibit 135. I'm going to blow it up a little bit. But it's under marker 6, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, is this the black bra that you recovered?
Yes, it is.
And are there maggots depicted on the bra in this photograph?
Yes, they are.
And when you said you recovered the maggots from the bra, was it from the areas that you're seeing in the photograph?
Yes.
You also mentioned that you recovered maggots, I guess, was it on the same day you recovered the bra from the indentation areas?
Yes.
Okay. And that would have been on, was that Friday, February 14th?
Yes, it was.
2014? I'm going to show a photograph of. Do you recall where that indentation area was located?
Yes, it was approximately 2 feet to the west of photo marker number 6, which was the bra.
Okay, I'm first going to show you State's Exhibit 129A, and I'm going to ask you a few. Is it indentation, first of all, do you see marker 6 in that photograph?
Yes, I do.
Is that indentation where you recovered the maggots, is that depicted within this photograph?
Not really. It's behind or past number 6, as you would see it in this photograph.
And when you recovered the maggots from that area, can you describe how you went about doing that?
Yes. After I photographed the maggots that were, it was kind of like a dried stream bed. That was, like I said, it was about 2 feet from the bra, and there were like rounded rocks, and that's what made me think it was like a dried up stream bed. And then I just used one of the sterile containers to scoop up as much as I could, as practical.
Your Honor, show counsel the supporting evidence that State's Exhibit 157. Your Honor, permission to publish State's Exhibit 157.
Grant.
Now, Mr. Rose, do you recognize what you see here in State's Exhibit 157?
Yes, that's a photo taken from above, like an overview photograph of that stream bed, as I call it, the dried up stream bed, and with the maggots all in the soil in between the rocks and on the rocks.
Okay. And Your Honor, may Mr. Earl step down to indicate?
Yes.
Thank you. I'm going to blow up a little bit where you indicated that there's a dried stream bed. And first of all, can you show us the dry stream bed that you're referring to?
Well, again, these rounded rocks made sort of like a basis of one time a stream maybe have come through.
Okay. And on this picture, where would the marker number 6 have been? Would it be in the bottom of the picture or at the top?
Can we zoom back out? I'm sorry.
Sure.
I just want to make sure I knew what position I was in. Okay, so it would have been on the lower left,
Okay, can you indicate it to the monitor that's in front of you?
like in this area.
Okay, so when you said the stream bed would have been behind marker 6, you're pointing to the lower left corner of the photograph and State's Exhibit 157?
Correct.
And can you show us where you observed what you testified to earlier, the pool of maggots?
Okay, well, in this whole indention, there was a whole gathering of, you can see a lot of the maggots here, and then on the rocks, in between the rocks.
And were those maggots, when you observed them, were they still moving or were they still?
Yes, they were actively moving.
And is that the area where you collected the maggots? That's
Yes.
what we're seeing in
Yes.
State's Exhibit 157.
Yes, it is.
And what did you put them in?
I put them in that plastic container until I got back to the laboratory, where I actually placed them in the refrigerator, and then put the preservative in there.
Okay, so when you first collected them, you did not have a preservative out in the field?
No.
And please have a seat next. Now, while you're at the prior to sending the maggot specimens to Dr. Emily Goff, what, if any, instructions did you receive with respect to the handling or the preservation of the maggots that you collected?
Okay.
And
So-
this to hearsay?
You know, this goes to the effect that it has on this preparation.
The objection is overruled.
And you can tell us.
Okay, so I had used the preservative 10% formalin, which we have in the morgue, and we use quite frequently. But then upon speaking with Dr. Lee Goff, he recommended that I change that from the formalin to isopropyl alcohol, which would help maintain the integrity of the evidence longer.
Okay, and the name of the solution you use is, can you say it one more time, please?
Which one, the formalin or
The one
the?
you changed it to.
Oh, I'm sorry, isopropyl alcohol. It's rubbing alcohol that you would buy at Long's.
Okay, so when did you make that change?
I made that on the 23rd of May of 2014, before shipping them out to him.
Okay, and I know you testified that you shipped it out, was that on May 24th?
Most likely. I would have to check the FedEx shipping label.
Is it there?
No, it's not.
Now, at some point after shipping these specimens out to Dr. Goff, did you receive them back?
Yes, I did.
And when did you receive them back?
I received them June 17 of 2014.
Now, if I were to you mentioned that you would know when you would have shipped the specimens out to Dr. Goff if you had the log, is that correct?
Yes,
If I were to show you a copy of the log, would that help you refresh your recollection?
it should, yes.
You know what I mean? Approach the log. Thank you.
Okay, so it does help refresh my memory.
Okay, so when did you send the specimens out to Dr. Goff?
Okay, I dropped the specimens off on Friday the 23rd of May 2014 in the afternoon.
When you say you dropped it off, is that to the FedEx office?
Correct. Submitted them for
And
shipping.
then you testified you received them back on June 17, 2014, is that correct?
Correct.
Now, the specimens that are listed as state's exhibits, okay, 400, 401, and 402, do those accurately represent the specimens? Well, first of all, 400 and 401, does it accurately represent the specimens that you received from Officer Bonacorsi and then shipped off to Dr. Goff and then returned and got it returned to you back in July of 2014?
Yes, they do.
And does it act, as far as the container and the specimens they're in, is it accurately depict what you sent off in return?
Yes, they do.
And with respect to State's Exhibits 400, 401 and 40, State's Exhibit 402, the specimens you collected from the clothing items as well as the bra and the indention at the Wailuku area, do those actually depict the specimens that you recovered from the clothing items that you described earlier as well as the indention at the Wailuku scene?
And the ones recovered from on the bra.
And from the bra, yes.
And then there is one more that I recovered from on the fingernail with the
Okay.
that you haven't mentioned yet.
The one you recovered from the fingernail, which was, when did you recover that?
Yeah, in the morgue.
I said, when did you recover? Was it a different time from the clothing items as well as?
It was on the 15th. Yes,
That was Saturday,
correct. February 15th of 14.
right? And did you send that off as well with the other specimens to Dr. Goff?
Yes, and it's in a separately labeled container.
And Was that returned to you in the same manner as the other specimens back in July of 2014?
Yes, it was.
Okay. Now, have those specimens been changed or altered in any way?
They don't appear to be.
Your Honor, at this time the state would move its evidence states exhibits 400, 401, and 402.
That's
Mark
just,
identification.
may I have a brief about your
Yes.
400 and 401, Your Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Earls, relative to those exhibits 400 and 401, you testified that you had received those via hand delivery from Officer Bonacarsi on the early morning hours of February 14, 2014. Is that accurate?
Correct.
Is that reflected on the chain of custody?
Not on this one. There should be another chain, original Form 137, which she had already written out that has that information.
Okay, and where would that be?
It should be with the original evidence, but I don't see it here.
Is there anything else to open that it may be in? Or is there something that you don't have access to relative to finding that?
No.
Okay, so,
But there's an actual Form 137 that depicted all of the information that Officer Bonacorsi had filled out.
so is that the evidence voucher?
It's the one before the computer system, yes, sir. It's a manual form that you fill out.
I guess, if I may approach the witness, this,
You may.
can you show me what you want to know, I guess?
Okay, sure. So this is just a copy, but this is the original on 400. And there is actually another form that's similar in appearance with all of the signing, but it lists, and she actually filled it out by hand, and it said what items I received from her that early morning. And I don't see that one here attached to this. So it may be attached to one of the original items.
Well, you would agree with me that that particular, I guess, we would expect to see her signature on there evidencing that she had custody of that at that particular point in the chain of custody. Is that accurate?
Yes.
And what you're testifying to is that that is, you cannot find that right now. Is that accurate?
It's not attached to these particular parts of evidence, correct?
Okay, so as of right now, according, just based on what you see, that part of the chain of custody is missing until we find it at least?
From these parts, yes.
From 401 and 400, is that accurate?
Yes.
And I have no further questions.
And your position with respect to the exhibits?
Well, Your Honor, we can look at the other exhibits because she turned over numerous exhibits to Mr. Earls and
I
that
understand.
she could be there. But just based on that, the state will still move its evidence.
No,
I'm sorry.
I'm actually asking Mr. O'Connell. I mean, the witness recalls.
We'll just object this to, that.
Well, I'm going to receive them. Although this witness recalls, has a recollection without need for the other evidence record if we got it. So I'll receive an evidence, states exhibits 400, 401, and 402 marked for identification purposes. And we'll, I'm assuming we're going to adjourn at this time.
Thank you.
All right, we will adjourn at this time. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Tomorrow we're going to start at 9. And please keep in mind my cautionary instructions. Thank you so much for your service today.
Yeah, so she can sign this stuff.
So this has to be a picture.
Not really. I mean, they're preserved. But for long-term storage you want them.
Yeah.
But they're not, you know what I mean? Okay.
She's just gonna want.
Yeah, these three.